What's up, y'all?
Hello and welcome.
I am Austin.
And I am Parker, your host. Welcome
And
to another episode of Surreal Frequency. And in this video, we're going to be responding to comments from our last video.
Indeed.
I'll let you read off the comments.
Well, that's you.
You got it, my good sir.
Alright. Son of a... My phone's being retarded. One moment.
I got you.
Queen BB. What would y'all take for a proper first aid if we couldn't get to like a CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Meijer, or like anywhere that sells first aid equipment?
Okay.
Before the shelves got cleared. And what do we think, or how do we feel about the Mandela effect?
Alrighty. Very interesting. Let's start off with Mandela effect. My friend has turned into a mini fridge.
Yes.
Alright. The Mandela effect refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believes that an event occurred when it did not. The term was originally coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome after she discovered that herself, along with a number of others, believed Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s. However, he actually died in 2013. Fiona started a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. She was at a conference talking to others about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African president, hearing how he had died in a South African prison in the 1980s. Learning she wasn't alone, others remembered seeing news coverage and a speech from his widow. So many people remember events that never happened or believe things that simply aren't true. And I think I think it all stems from kind of just a miscommunication, honestly. Is it real? 100%. Yes. I do believe so. Much like people, a lot of people argue over whether or not the Monopoly Man has a monocle or not.
Or whether it's a Dash and Kit Kat.
Yep. It's a real thing. Whether or not Pikachu has a black tipped tail or not, or if it's solid yellow. A lot of people, there's a lot of things out there. It's really weird. Sometimes you just swear you believe, you just swear that you saw it like that, and maybe your brain really is imagining that image. You never know. But alright, let's talk about first aid.
You mean the first acid trip? Hey,
Just because the bottom line on the eye looks like a C is not acid. Let's start off with the first thing you wrote down, which is a small handgun with one bullet.
Yep, to kill myself in a zombie apocalypse.
That's pretty inefficient, my friend.
And why is that?
Why not take a handgun with multiple bullets and just save one?
We had to discuss this, and that's what I meant.
When did we discuss this?
Earlier.
Are you having a
camera.
Mandela effect moment?
No.
I think you are, my dude. Yes. Save one bullet specifically to shoot yourself. Now, as far as first aid, actual first aid goes, do you want to talk about it?
What? First aid?
Yeah. You did a lot of research on it, so I figure you should have the right to talk about it.
Yeah.
And just let me know when you want me to take over.
Alright. So, for first aid, things you can use. For burns, basically any cool liquid, you want to cool it down as quickly as possible. And keep it cool for as long as possible. Like in a... It's recommended to have 10 minutes of, like being under a cold
liquid.
Yeah.
Or water. Or...
Like cold running water or whatever.
But if you don't have that, you can also use juice,
Milk,
as long as it doesn't have
beer.
a lot of sugar in it. And, yeah, even beer. Yeah. Is there anything that's cooler than your burn, obviously, and you want to try and keep applying it for about 10 minutes to be 100% effective. But what about coverage? What would you use to cover the burn?
Grocery bags. Because they don't stick to the burn skin. Like the shit that happens to your skin when it burns. You know what I mean.
I'm gonna use like a sandwich bag and just cut the end off of it.
Yeah.
And then just open it up and slide it over wherever your burn is.
That would work too.
Alright, I'm gonna take over since it looks like you're falling asleep on me. Jesus.
What's up?
You are chomping loud, my dude. Good lord. For broken bones, you can use padding such as clothing or blankets, and you can use 2 straight sticks or wooden rods or even metal rods if you can find some on either side of the broken bone.
To stabilize it and make sure it stays straight.
Yep. Basically a little homemade splint. And then for bleeding, you can use strips of an old cloth or clothing item and a stick to make a tourniquet. Say you got shot, you can use tampons for gunshot wounds. Just pop it in there, and it'll help with blood clotting and soak up a little bit of that blood for you. Vodka and other strong spirits can be used to disinfect cuts, scrapes, and other wounds. Dental floss can be used to stitch lacerations closed, and I always want to keep a couple cloves of garlic on me. Not for what this guy thinks. He always thinks vampires whenever I talk about garlic, but I'm talking about using it as a homemade antibiotic, both externally and internally.
Nice.
So overall, I'd take, a little box with me. Try and wear like cargo shorts or something like that. You could have one pocket for half of your first aid and one pocket for the other on your side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would definitely take a little bit of garlic, something to use as an antibiotic, and who knows, maybe I'll wind up hunting something and needing some seasoning. Never know.
Never know. Indeed, you do not.
I would definitely keep a thing of dental floss on me with couple little needles, just in case it ever came to that situation. Bottle of super glue for sure. And then probably a couple shots of vodka. Why not? You never know when you're gonna need
a little flask.
Yep. And I think definitely keep some duct tape with me. Very, very useful for a number of different things. Tying stuff together, holding wounds closed. I mean, you could even use it for, keeping your broken bone immobilized. There's hundreds of different ways to use duct tape, especially even in first aid. It may not be the most sanitary thing, but it will definitely work in a pinch.
Indeed.
I don't know.
It
Take
makes a
anything
nice
else?
adhesive.
Oh yeah. Would you take anything else?
I think that about covers it. I take an extra flask for drinking purposes.
Well, I'd of course make sure I have water. Clean drinking water to wash any wounds. And to make sure that I can wash the garlic off of a wound if I ever need to use it as an antibiotic. I wouldn't want to leave a crushed clove of garlic on an open wound. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't, but I also wouldn't recommend it just because I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
So I think the topic for our next video, probably something along aliens or something like that.
Yes, indeed. Well, we will be talking about aliens next time.
Yes. So tune in. That episode will be coming sometime later this week, or possibly next weekend. But I think that just about covers it. I'm glad you guys were able to tune in to another video of Surreal Frequency.
You have a nice rest of your day.
Indeed. I've been Parker.
I am awesome.
And we hope you guys have a good evening.